We are only a few days removed from UFC 276, and one of the biggest highlights of the entire fight card was the dominant performance from Alexander Volkanovski in his third fight against rival Max Holloway. Heading into this fight, there was some controversy surrounding the second fight between the two men, with many people suggesting that Holloway should have won that fight. However, Volkanovski completely put this rivalry to bed with a stellar performance at UFC 276, dominating Holloway right from the beginning till the very end for the entire 5 rounds. The thing about Alexander Volkanovski is, if you have seen his last fight against the Korean Zombie, you probably have realized by now that he generally tends to start his fights in a very quick fashion. And this was also the case against Holloway at UFC 276. Volk usually likes to take some time to read his opponent's mannerisms and understand how he would solve this puzzle that is standing across him in the octagon. And once he does solve that puzzle, there is absolutely no stopping him. In that fight, the only time Max Holloway looked a little threatening was in the first round itself. And when I say threatening, I don't mean that Volk was in any sort of danger in that opening 5 minutes. Rather, it was Holloway who was getting a few hits here and there, but despite all that, it was all about Volkanovski regardless in that opening round as well. Those big left hooks that he was landing on Holloway looked really nasty in real time. Another primary aspect that won Volkanovski this fight against Holloway was his incredible volume striking, and the reason for that was the insane combos that he executed starting from the second round itself. And he even cut Holloway wide open with that big right hand that he landed on top of his eye. I mean, the jab was a big factor for Volkanovski in this fight. He used his jabs with absolute precision, and Holloway honestly didn't have any answer for him in return. If you look at things from a different perspective, this third fight between Volkanovski and Holloway reminded me so much of those classic Max Holloway performances as well. I mean, over the years, we saw him absolutely decimate both Brian Ortega and Calvin Kattar, simply dominating those two for entire 5 rounds in a similar fashion. As the fight entered the championship rounds, obviously Holloway needed something big to win this bout. But honestly, it was more of the same, with Volkanovski dominating with his striking, his jabs, and even his leg kicks. And honestly, he didn't need to over-exaggerate anything, as the fight was pretty much in the bag for Volk by that point. Overall, the entire story of this fight was that Max Holloway struggled big time to even get in Alexander Volkanovski's range. And every time he did get close to Volk, he ate a jab, which was basically the story of this entire fight. Now, going forward, I don't think Volkanovski has anything else left to prove in the featherweight division. He has already beaten the best striker other than himself in this division, which is Max Holloway. Not once, not twice, but thrice. He has proved that he can survive with fighters who are absolutely elite on the ground when he fought Brian Ortega. So honestly, not much of a challenge left for Volk at 145. I mean, if the UFC is going to put Josh Emmett in there with this current version of Volkanovski, it's going to be a really long night for Emmett. So the best possible outcome for Volk from here onwards is going up to 155 and compete in the lightweight division. I would absolutely love to see him versus Charles Oliveira. Oliveira, as we know, is a different beast on the ground. He has to be levels above Brian Ortega on the ground in my book. And on top of that, Oliveira's striking is relentless. He has proved it time and time again against the likes of Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje, who are among 3 of the best lightweights at the moment. So, Alexander Volkanovski versus Charles Oliveira, you can have all my money for it. As for Max Holloway, I honestly would prefer him going up to lightweight as well. I know he has competed at 155 in the past when he fought Dustin Poirier and he got completely dominated by the Diamond, but I do think it is almost time for Holloway to move up to the lightweight division and mix it up with such a talented 155 lineup. I know Holloway has been chasing the featherweight title for a while. He has been eagerly wanting to become the UFC featherweight champion once again for the second time, but both him and Volkanovski really don't have anything else to prove at 145. I don't know if some have forgotten, but during Holloway's title reign, he also faced some absolute killers. He defeated Anthony Pettis to win the interim title in the first place, Then he defended the belt twice against who many believe is the greatest featherweight of all time, Jose Aldo. And of course, then there is that highlight title defense against Brian Ortega as well, and he concluded it with a dominant win over Frankie Edgar. If Holloway wants to continue at featherweight, maybe the UFC could give him one more fight at 145. The only reason I say that is because I do want to see Max versus Giga Chikadze. I think it would be a very good fight between two strikers, and especially it would be a big return fight for Chikadze after that loss to Calvin Kattar. So yeah, that's my take on the Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway trilogy fight, and like I said, I do want to see both men move up to 155 going forward, as I believe they don't have anything else to prove at 145. So let me know your take on Volkanovski versus Holloway 3, and if the two featherweights could move up to the lightweight division at the same time. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.